Hi, this is Steve here again on my second lesson, and my second lesson is going to be Elvis, That's Alright Mama. Hopefully an easy lesson again, because as I say, I think I've learned the hard way. Maybe I should have gone for lessons, but things I picked up myself over the years, from books, from watching people, just figuring things out, and hopefully got better over the years at doing so. So some of these things that were mysteries to me, I'm hoping that I can pass on to other people. Like I say, I'm not the greatest guitarist in the world, but if anybody gets something out of it, then that's great. I will be adding a few more videos to it because I find it a great way of actually practicing myself. So if you want to subscribe, it doesn't cost anything. I always thought it cost something to subscribe. It doesn't. And you'll get the videos popping up on your email, I assume. So like I say, the first thing I'm going to be doing is teaching you today now, That's Alright Mama, my way, the way I play it, not necessarily the way it's played on the record, and certainly not as good as Scotty Moore plays it, but hopefully I can capture a lot of the notes and the sounds that he does to the best of my ability anyway, and just pass it on to you and you can go ahead and improve it. Okay, I'm going to be playing the guitar on a Gibson ES355. That's a type of guitar that was played in the day. And what I'm first of all going to do is I'm going to be showing you the chords involved in the song. Okay, the chords are slightly different. I play the chord A with a bar chord. In the song is played with open chords, and you can still do that, but it's a little bit of a stretch to get them to the other chords. So as you can see, these are the chords that I use in the song. We've got a normal A bar chord, which I'm going to explain to you. We've got an A chord here, which is like a cage system sort of chord, which is the A. And we've got another here, which is A7. And as you can see, they are up on the 9th fret. Then we've got a D9 and an E9. D9 is mainly on the 5th, and E9 is mainly on the 7th. These little coloured notes you can see are just movements of the fingers that I use. And I don't even know what the chords are called, to be honest, when I put that chord on. There is a name for them. There's bound to be a name for all chords. That's just a little intricacy, a little movement that makes it sound a little bit better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through the chords first of all, and then we'll go through the song. Okay, you can see the neck of the guitar. Like I say, this is a Gibson ES355, which is a old sort of type of guitar that people used to play. This guitar's new, but it's the sort of same model. Now, as you know, it's in normal tuning, which is E, A, D, G, B, E. I won't be putting that in any of my videos again. I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but it's what it's called standard tuning. And to play the bar chords, what we're going to have to do is change a normal conventional E shape. And the E shape, as you probably know, and again I won't insult your intelligence in the next video, is the 3rd string up from the bottom, from the thin end up. You place normally your index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string up. Then you place your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th up, and you press your middle finger on the 5th on the 2nd fret, and you play all the strings. And straight away you can hear that that's a nice sound, and it's an E major chord, with your root being the E string there, your root also being where your ring finger is, E there, and on the 1st string, E there. Now what we're going to do is change it into a bar chord, and what we do to do that is we change the way we've got our fingers. It's exactly the same chord when it's played there, but instead of the other finger in now, it'll be 1st, 2nd, 3rd string up, use your middle finger, 4th up, use your pinky, which can be a bit difficult, and your ring finger is now on the 5th string. The reason for that is we're going to use this finger to bar. And it's important that you get those strings down, because nothing sounds worse than... So So it needs a bit of practice. If you can't play bar chords, just practice them. They do come, I promise you. So we can now move this shape along with our bar. So we're not going to play it there because that would be F. Because obviously if that's E, this is E, this is F, F sharp, G, G sharp, or A flat, A. So the same as root, 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 it's root, root, root. So it is an A chord. So that is one of our first chords. Next chord I'm going to show you is the A up on the 9th, and this is absolutely simple. Okay, it's a D shape, and you probably all know D, but it is your middle finger on the 2nd fret on the 1st string, your ring finger on the 2nd string up on the 3rd fret, and your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and you play the open D as well, which is the 4th string. Now all we're going to do is we're going to move this right up to the 9th, but not play the open D string, which is the 4th. We're just going to play the bottom 3 strings, which is A, and again part of what they call the cage system. To play that properly and use this 4th string, we would have to go like this, but you would have to develop the way you play that D shape. So we're not going to do that, we're just going to go from there, we're going to use it there. Now you may say, why are you using an A chord there and an A chord there? Because you can hear the change in the tone in the octaves. So if you know a D chord, if you turn a D chord upside down, it sounds a bit more mellow and a bit more blue. So if you change your A chord round, that is A7. You can also play an A7 by taking off your pinky when you're playing the bar chord. But there is a bit of a variance in it. So we're going to use this one here because it just gives it that sharper attack. Next 2 chords that you're going to need to know, and they're exactly the same shape, and all you're doing is moving them, are D9, E9. Used in lots of songs. Beatles use it quite often in their songs. To do this, you're going to have to use your ring finger to bar the 3 notes here on the 5th. Your index finger on the 4th string, and your middle finger on the 5th string. Bit tricky, can be for a start, but easy once you get used to it. Used in many songs. And if that's a D, it's a D because this is a D note, this is your root note, shift it up to the 7th, and it's exactly the same. That's your root, and that's an E9. So we're using A, we're using A, we're using A7, we're using D9, and we're using E9. But there will be some little slight intricacies of things that we're doing with them, which I will take you on to in the next section. Okay, now for the song. To start the song, I like to give it a little lead in, which is simply a bass lead in. Not actually in the song, Elvis' song, but I like it. All you're doing is playing an open E, finger on the 2nd fret, which is F sharp, onto the 4th, which is A flat, and onto the 5th, which is A. Now when you're doing that, I wouldn't recommend you do, because if you're starting off, it can be a little bit difficult to get to the chord. So I suggest you go into the chord position, it hits 1 string, it doesn't matter if you hit 2 then. Get the rhythm, it's sort of a boom boom boom, chicka chicka boom, boom, chicka boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and just a little tip that I use. If I'm trying to learn a little something and I can't quite get the riff or the lick or the lead part, I put words to it. You know, it could be anything. It could be whatever words you want. But this one here, it just came to me. Boom, boom, chicka chicka boom, boom, chicka boom, boom. It was longer. You could make a sentence. Sometimes singing that sentence in the way that the lead is, it can make you remember it. Anyway, so what I'm doing as well is muting the strings by just resting slightly my heel of my hand on the strings, and the index finger on and off the string. It just gives it that little bass string. So it's that's alright, that's alright, buddy. And then there's a part in the song where he uses this A. So two variations there. The first one is in the D shape on the ninth. Remember we said D shape on the ninth is A. So all you're doing is 1, 2, 3, down, up, down. So all you're doing is putting your pinky on the 12th and taking it off. Quite simple, and you do that twice, like I say. Well, that's alright. Getting that little timing in can be a little bit difficult. And needs to practice it, and you need to warm up as well to get it right, I think. And the next one then is. So it's the same. So all we play in there is, do you remember that? 7th chord, which is the D on the 9th, but upside down, A7. And I tend to play that with 3 downstrokes. Sorry, 5 downstrokes. Whatever it takes to fit the song. And that is the first little part of it. And we're going to go next on to the next part, which is 2 different chords. So the next chords are, if you remember, we did the D9 and the E9. So after we've come from everything you do, that's alright. So from it's alright, you do the D9. And what I like to do myself is rather than just go, that's alright, that's alright. Alright, that's okay. But what I like to do here is that's alright. Is the middle finger is going from the 5th on the 5th string, which is the A string. So from there to the back, and then again like you did on the A, little pinky, but this time up on the 7th on the 2nd string. Slide up, and that's that little movement there. So you don't have to I slide back down. Anything you do. And then it all starts again, and that is the whole song, which, apart from the lead break, which I'll do next, on my next lesson, that's it basically. So it's a nice easy song to play. Okay, so it's... Well, that's alright, Mama, that's alright by you. That's alright, Mama, you got anything you do. Well, that's alright, right. That's alright now, Mama, anything you do. Straight into it. Well, Mama, she done told, Papa done told me too. Mama, that girl you hanging with, she ain't no good for you, and that's alright. So all I did there is I just changed the second verse a little bit and didn't do that, because there are parts of it where he sort of does do a bit more. But that is actually in the song. Like I say, you can learn it yourself and pick it up your own little way. Like I say, I'm not the greatest guitarist by a million miles, but just give it a go if you like Elvis, or you like singing old blues songs, and improve on what I've done. If you'd like to subscribe, it doesn't cost anything. I always thought subscribing meant actually paying something, but it doesn't. So if you do like the lessons, then press the red button and subscribe. Thank you very much.